Well, we're live.
No, that's the time to
Are you asking the audience something?
Yeah, hey,
now we're
audience,
live.
would you like it if there's a break in the middle?
I think
Or
that
do you hate that shit?
we're gonna take a 2-minute break at the halfway mark. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Cool. Ethan, do you wanna kick us off?
Oh yes. Hi everybody. My name is Ethan Gouldini. Ethan Gould. Thanks so much for joining us on the very first playtest stream run for Autumn of the Sometimes Kingdom, a Ryan Weathery fantasy world set in a retro fantasy. We're going to sort of hand wave away what that means. We're also going to hand wave away what year it is. All that really matters is that it's autumn. Of course, in the realm of Copia here in Seasons Keep, it's always autumn. Seasons Keep is a weathery world with 4 islands: Springside, Summerside, Copia, and Interhart. And here in Copia, it is perpetually blustery and perpetually autumn. But that also means that when autumn rolls around here in Copia, it's double autumn. As we get into spooky season, the festivities in Copia are in full swing. In the splendid port of Turnip, autumnal festivities are in full swing. The Autumn Island is renowned for its frequent parades, awesome festivals, revelrous events, and many and diverse assorted goings-ons. In recent years, the regular world tradition of Halloween, from its sister world, Earth, in addition to the more traditional All Hallows Eve, Days of the Dead, the horrible Demon Week of Winter, etc., and Alia, have also caught on, and the people of the various regions across Seasons Keep are experimenting with what a spooky holiday means in a perpetually haunted world. Increased commerce mostly. Interhart, the winter island, has no shortage of ideas about what this means for locales, customs, and peoples, as its chief export besides spellcraft, the professions, and cold weather products is scary shit. As a result, the regional governments of Interhart have banded together with several of those in other seasons to create special happenings, hauntings, and events to enrich relations between the seasons and promote new and exciting avenues for selling said scary shit to the entire realm. Here in the port of Turnip, all of the guilds and unions are all in on this, and everybody's really pulled out all the stops, creating for a new seasonal pavilion, a haunted row, by importing a haunted house from Winter, which is the scariest of all the islands, into Copia, which in its own way is also rather frightening if windswept and, elbow-patched and full of scarves, among many other things. The sort of the haunted season has really caught on here, and people are absolutely gaga for it. Unfortunately, over the past week, things have taken a turn from the spooky to the eerie to the downright frightening. Some of the plant life around the haunted pavilion has started to die, and everybody is starting to point the finger at Winter. 4 adventurers have been called in specifically to deal with a problem. They have not been hired on this quest, which is an official job title, by the city of Turnip itself or by the island of Copia, but by a group of ghosts who have been working professionally at this row of haunted houses, Haunted House Row, for the past week, and are 5 seconds away from walking out in solidarity. They have called you from across the islands. 2 of you are arriving from the north via a haunted stagecoach, and 2 of you are arriving via ship. Let's see. The 2 people who are coming from the north, south into the port of Turnip directly are DCI Beans and Bessemer Neversing. You are currently traveling at close to 100 miles an hour in a haunted stagecoach, being directed by 4 skeletal horses, what looks to be a possible V4 modified engine, and manned by Scalagra, the famous undead Troika driver. So, are you guys okay back there? I know it's pretty bumpy.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, it's fine. The Getty Falls are pretty notorious. You're coming down from the Highlands. But we're gonna hit a curb. We're gonna bank shot to the right, and it's just gonna be a straight shot, right into the port of Turnips. Splendid gates from there. So just hold tight, hang tight, and make small talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna "Hey, Charlie!" shouts at the horse. "Come on, you're veering left. We're gonna fall off the cliff." "It's fine. Don't worry about it." Okay. And he
not
rolls
worried.
up the isinglass curtain between both of you, and you are now in a private, if very bumpy, ride.
Welcome to my homelands, Bessemer. I'm glad I've just gone to meet you and just coming back. As you know, I live here in Turnip, have some for some time, but you know, I've been away, and it's been a year, so I don't know what's going on, and forgive me for not being able to give you a more robust tour. I can, however, tell you many things about the forests surrounding Turnip, especially because for the last year, I have been a skunk. As you can see, I am a skunk wearing a small fedora, and I have a sack that I carry around with me, which is full of silver and a gun, and I will fucking shoot anyone who tries to take the silver and my old pipe. But I am a skunk, so that is, you know, witchcraft, blah, 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 long story. I'm going to remain a skunk, I think. How are you? Welcome again to Turnip. It's a lovely place, really.
It appears to be a lovely place, and thank you so much for your welcome. You speak of being a skunk for the last year quite casually.
Things happen, yes. You know, witchcraft, etc. It is all in the job, yes.
Okay. You speak as if you're remaining a skunk. Your tone is enigmatic as far as whether your feelings about this have any bearing on the truth of the outcome.
Right. Well, feelings is not really a huge thing in my line of business typically, but I've actually found as a detective that becoming a skunk has heightened some senses and given me a new appreciation of others. So I think I will remain a skunk, as I said, for the time being. Also, I was unable to find the witch who vexed me, so
oh, okay.
Sort of
So
is what it is.
Right. It's okay. It's proving itself to be the course forward. I understand. Well, thank you again for the welcome. You said you've been away. Where have you been?
Looking for the witch who vexed me into a skunk.
Right. Yeah,
yes,
that does actually.
Unsuccessfully.
That yeah. Sorry to bring it up again.
No, if I was sensitive the first time you pointed out I was a talking skunk with a fedora and a gun, I would have gone into a sort of furious animalistic rage. And I think at that point, DCI Beans does kind of like, you know, I don't want to be in a small thing. And I think I'm like jumping at the window and, you know, kind of doing the backflip that quadrupeds do. And they're really like, they get the zoomies. But I'm still talking like casually, like, you know, a 54-year-old detective who just happened to get changed into a talking creature.
Right. Excellent. This is par for the course. This makes sense to me. There's no reaction.
So you could see on your left a tree, another tree. Look, a bird. No, yes, it's a bird, not just a leaf. Haha.
At this point, the carriage careens off of a very, very high prominence, and is very briefly in the air. But shortly thereafter, lands seamlessly, and for a very brief stretch, is riding completely vertical down a steep rock escarpment. This is the steps of Getney, which means that you are but moments away from the splendid gates of the port of Turnip. Meanwhile, having just recently arrived off of a ship are two other characters who are making their way east as fast as they can to meet up with their call representative, who issued their call to action via a little scroll for wherever they originally came.
All right, Garçon. So what was the job again?
Well, brother, our job was to get off this ship and go to where the job is.
All right, we're brothers.
Yes, we've been brothers our whole lives. Ever since we were placed in the same baby basket as separate pranks.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of woke up and you were there saying you were my brother, so...
I do not have memory of it. I was a baby.
Yeah. I think at this note, could we say that story bit about skeletons? They just kind of like wake up sometimes.
Yeah.
If you die as a skeleton, you kind of sometimes can wake up as a skeleton and just be there, but you're kind of not the same exact person.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Out of all of the islands on the Spectral Archipelago, those in Seasons Keep are often be given a wide berth by some of the other magical islands. That's because the flourish islands of Seasons Keep have a ludicrously potent form of magic known as the seasonal schools of magic. One of the more untoward effects of that, which everybody in Seasons Keep accepts as just day-to-day life, is that the dead don't necessarily die, and even the undead themselves don't necessarily die either. Skeletons, when they, in quotes, die, often find themselves reassembled into new piles of bones and keep on trucking as a new individual.
All right. I mean, I got this journal and stuff, and it says that I apparently love you very, very much.
Oh, that's very kind of you to write in your journal, brother.
Okay. I don't know why we have different accents, though. I feel like that's I don't know. I just kind of woke up like this. But whatever. Let's go.
And at this point, by the way, just an important note is that Hirsute is a skeleton. Fasole Gilzaruna is not a skeleton. Fasole Gilzaruna is a bright maraschino cherry red demon wearing a suit of also bright red armor with two truly just devil horns sticking out of it. I currently have a bright red vest, but it's not as armored as you are. Like less armored, but still armored, basically. Like we're here. The
important thing is that you both match, and I think that's
we
really
both
important.
match. Technically,
yeah. People are going to look at you. In fact, some of
that guy's with that guy. Yeah.
Sure. I'm sure during the voyage, a tourist has come up to both of you and said, like, "Excuse me, but are you two related? Are you brothers? Is this the thing? Is this happening here?"
We are absolutely brothers.
That's just
somehow
charming.
Similar bone structure, but
very
Fasole
has the inside.
Fasole has the skin, and I don't.
Into the midst of the harbor, there is always sort of a perpetual cloud cover around the areas of the islands, because Copia is perpetually autumn, and the island closest to it, Summerside, is perpetually summer. The ecologies of both of those worlds tend to sort of mesh at sea, creating a constant microclimate. So out of that choppy water and out of those strong clouds, you find yourself in this catamaran moving at a swift speed directly into the splendid port of Turnip, which lives up to its name. It has beautiful spires made out of ochre brick, made out of ancient steel, made out of sandstone, and the city was carved into the very sturdy rock face of the western side of Copia more than 1,000 years ago. Since then, it has been added onto in a very efficient and elegant fashion, and now is one of the most bustling ports in all of Seasons Keep. You hear the ringing of a bell as the boat swiftly moves into the dock, and it moves a little faster, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. This is unfortunately a common occurrence in Seasons Keep, and the boat crashes into the dock, chopping up big chunks of the wood and the boardwalk. People sort of dive the hull. People sort of dive out of the way.
Do we get thrown off the boat and experience massive injuries?
I think that lots of people are thrown, but at that moment, lots of people sort of very swiftly use their little personal magics. The captain and the crew, sort of stick their head out of, one side of the captain's, chambers and the bridge, and they're hastily also casting a net of spells to hold as many people as possible from being, thrown over. As a demon, that's not something you necessarily have to worry about. And I think that your suit, you can either be sort of caught on your own, you can be caught by one of the crew members, or you can be thrown off of the bridge.
I think I'd just do a little cartwheel.
A little cartwheel, just I love that. So a cartwheel right off of the deck, landing on both feet like a cat, directly onto the now sort of splintered up dock.
My move is D4, so I am launched off the ship head first and plonk into the dock, but I do have also 4 damage reduction, so I assume I take very little.
You take, I would say, one damage, but it's also just to your armor. Great. Quickly, elegantly, write yourself.
I have a little duster on me to dust my brother off.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Yeah, of course.
So at that moment, you know, you I'm assuming want to make your way down this now very crumpled and sort of frantic dock. But you know, at the same time, also there is the sound of the braying and neighing of a group of spectral horses, as a carriage drawn by undead horses careens in at about 70 miles an hour directly into what may or may not be a parking area. I don't think that Scalagra really cares. He shouts, "Get out of my way! Get out of my way!" And it immediately pulls up to an abrupt halt. And he says, "I can only take you as far as exactly where you need to go," and kicks the door open for the both of you.
Well, I'm so glad you slowed down from 100 to 70 miles an hour there at the end. This was much safer. Stop, Scalagra. Your services are always so appreciated. I'm going to run away now, and I think I just jump out of the carriage.
God rest you merry, sir.
Yeah, thanks. And I jump as well.
He says, "Okay, does anybody need to go north?" And you see a couple of people who are sort of picking themselves up, sodding off of the dock, or like, you know, signaling to him in very short order. You know, there's the clacking of hooves as the cart, you know, puff of, I don't know, smoke, hairpins, you know, bone chips or whatever, then sort of immediately starts making its way back north from whence it came. So yeah, so the four of you are now sort of in the same area, and I think that it's sort of pretty obvious, having been given a very perfunctory description of each other, who you are, and yeah, so you meet each other right here on the docks, right at the splendid gates of the port of Turnip.
Yeah, I mean, I think we stand out because we're candy red. We're wearing candy red.
Absolutely candy red. The fashions in Copia are a little bit more muted. They're a bit more orange. They're a bit more elbow patched and corduroy, wispy, and you are all in just absolutely. You said maraschino cherry red. Like,
yes.
We're not talking like high end maraschino cherries here. We're talking like
I think my armor's maybe not quite that red, but
like a ruddy red.
I am that red.
You yourself are a demon that are.
I was thinking like cocktail cherry red.
Yeah, perfect.
Like that one, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't exist in nature.
Yeah.
Only people can make that.
Only people and demons. It exists in my nature. I'm sorry, angels. I mean angels.
That's what you meant.
I'm definitely hiding off to the side, and so it would appear that only like one human has emerged after the skunk just like ran away. But I think I'm watching and doing detective shit from the grass nearby.
Yes,
probably
bravely ascertaining the scene. Yeah. Yeah, so the four of you sort of like scope each other out a little bit, and then at that moment also you hear like a excuse me, but forgive me, sort of batting people as they run, trying to like grab their luggage from being, you know, flung into the ocean by the little chunks of boat and dock that are still kind of peeling off. You see a dapper looking ghost with no feet, translucent, up to the knees, and then a wispy, pale, I guess a fluorescent color, who's standing there and is holding up in one hand with a pair of undead cheaters, spectral glasses, and in the other hand a scroll which has an insignia which matches the scroll that each of you had received for going on this quest. This individual is clearly your call center rep, who has sent you your call to action from wherever you came. Excuse me, just over here. Oh my, it's quite a little. It's really very. It's quite frenetic here today. Well, in any case, if you could follow me, we could talk as we walk. We're on a bit of a hurry today.
Okay, a hurry exactly where?
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Yes, of course. My fine individuals, hale and hearty as you are. My name is Mandibel Veneer, and I am your call representative today. Beseeching you formally to accept upon the temporary union of the dead and undead representatives for the haunted house row here at the splendid port of Turnip. We'd like for you to formally aid us in a quest to ascertain what the hell is it sort of gets really quiet. Haunting our haunted house.
Are you haunting it?
walk with me, talk with me.
Splendid. I love this. This is great. So we've been brought here because the ghost's house is being haunted.
Mandabelle sort of like, brings one, and it's, it's translucent, so it almost is opaque, where the finger is like, let's walk as we talk. Keep your voices down. We have.
How about we say instead you're being harassed?
Being harassed? My good. Yes, we're being harangued. We're being harassed. It's untoward, is what it is.
Are there any other H words we can come up with?
Oh, it's hellish. You see, it's just
hellish.
It's
That's
good.
hellish.
It's yeah, it's
Hambone?
A house of nightmares.
It's a house of
nightmares.
It's a house of nightmares, and so at this point now you're trying to follow this very brisk.
You're being you're being hard boiled.
Being well, see, I'm hoping you're.
I think that's our skunk friend here.
Yes.
Yeah, I think at that point
I think he was born
the
hard boiled, honestly.
And say in the penal code of Turnip, you are suffering from metaplasmic malfeasance, and we are on the case. Detective Chief Inspector of the local Bailey House here to help you.
At hearing those officious words, Mandabelle sort of like, you could sort of see, or to be honest, very rounded, sort of like translucent shoulders, like relax, and yes, see, you understand. I knew we hired the right professionals for this job. You're just so fantastic that the guilds of the Knights and Needles, and I couldn't be happier. Yes, follow me. So we're going to be walking through the splendid archways. We're going to be making our way through Turpin Town, right to the seasonal pavilion. And in the seasonal pavilion is, of course, where the various seasons are holding our wonderful festival here. It's like, be sure also while you're here to try the funnel cake. Go on some rides. While purchase some wares. Visit our fine shops. Wherever the fine wares of Copia. And now, thanks to the seasonal pavilion, the wares of spring, summer, autumn, and winter will be available. And you see that once she's done passing a crowd, it's like, things are really, really messed up here. You don't even know. God, okay.
Even the funnel cake.
The funnel cake is fantastic, and you should definitely have some of that. But I question whether the rest of this is necessary. So
you mean your life?
Well, you call this living? But seriously, yes, everything's really screwed up right now. Ugh, what a life. I'll come have you meet the rest of the gang.
Yeah, I mean, do we have a chance to like gather information on this walk? Like look around, like make a roll, perhaps?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So like all of this time that you've been walking and talking, you're passing through the splendid archways, past the port itself, into Turpin Town, which is the sort of busier, dense area of the port of Turnip, before the seasonal pavilion. It is a blustery, bright day. It is quite windy and chilly. And there is definitely like a large group of people milling about as you cross, pass a certain archway towards the seasonal pavilion. So feel free while you're there to also stop Mandabelle wherever you want to, roll to perceive things, or do what you will.
Yeah, can I roll reason to figure, or I guess would this be a will check to perceive what's just generally what is so wrong with this this carnival in my hometown that sounds fabulous? There's funnel cake, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What's going on here?
What's wrong with that funnel cake?
Yeah, that would be
wrong with the cake.
That would be a will check.
Damn it. Okay.
Do you think you can process funnel cake?
I don't know, but we'll find out. I got a 3.
Yet.
So yeah, I think I just returned with a funnel cake kind of around my neck,
yeah.
And I'm like fighting it.
Yeah,
it honestly looks like a Shakespearean rough.
So you've interrogated the funnel cake thoroughly, and so far its questions are coming up coming up empty.
Everything looks normal here, our ghostly friend.
It says, I'm sorry, I just asked that. It says skunks shouldn't eat processed foods.
Well, you know.
And they are prone to obesity in captivity. So
that may be true, but as a skunk, does he have... It is his stomach, but also we don't know if his digestive system is actually that of a skunk.
I think to be efficient in his body and him not to have further problems. Yeah.
You're assuming that his skunkedness is complete, and yet he still seems to be a man, but also a skunk. We can't assume that. Have all the funnel cake you like, but I do also roll like a will check, a perception check, to see, because something about how amazing the funnel cake is just strikes me, and I get a 6.
Yeah, so that's a success. You know, you don't have any sort of like stunning insight to what's happening, but like it is a blustery day. Bessemer has not lived in the port of Turnip, but is from Copia, and you know, being sensitive to people in general. You know, everybody's having a boisterous time. The funnel cake is just so bright and so dripping in molten, you know, deliciousness. And like in comparison to the funnel cake, which is brand new, the stuff around, something feels a little ashen. And everybody is like cheery faces as they're milling about, getting ready to enjoy all of the cheap attractions of the seasonal pavilion. All of their smiles seem a little forced.
It's not Claritin Clear.
It is not Claritin Clear. It's the early part of a pharmaceutical commercial.
Yeah, I think at this point I also have vomited up all of the funnel cake I ingested.
Worth it.
Yeah. No, not worth it. I will stick to the natural things we eat: cheese and red wine.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I didn't see any research. My quick research didn't discount that, actually.
Yeah.
I saw a cartoon that said that you could do that.
You know, the ghost, well, you know, it's also talking like as they're walking, but like, you know, without missing a beat, like picks up the you know, the half-eaten, not thrown up pieces of the funnel cake, and is like, you know, breaking off pieces and just putting it into her gullet, and you can sort of see it translucently make its way down through her ghost digestive system in a sort of like grotesque manner. She's saying like, oh, I mean,
can I roll to see what she ate like for breakfast? Like,
at this point it's pretty digested at this point. I feel like it's very clear that she ate something between you know, anything between the consistency of ectoplasm and barley soup.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, you can roll for more insight to find exactly what that particular
that's probably reason.
More insight could you
sure.
possibly want.
Yeah,
into that.
Well,
it might be a clue.
You'll be afraid of your words and deeds when there's a key in her esophagus.
Yeah.
This classic.
A key to the temple pool. Yeah.
If I rolled like a 12 on that, there would be like a map in there.
Yeah.
Leading to the haunting.
Yeah.
Alas, you got a 4. So did we arrive at wherever the ghost? What's the ghost name again? I'm sorry, I missed.
Oh, sure. The ghost is So these fantasy words. How dare you? The ghost name is Mandibel Veneer.
Right.
Yeah.
Has Mandibel led us to the?
Yeah. So at this point, you have all sort of made your way through like, you know, past a sort of like busy avenue of Turpintown, where the buildings, all autumnal in their splendor, become incredibly dense. And then past a certain point, it all clears out, and there's what looks to be like a field or a pasture or a park or something that's been retrofitted into more of this pavilion. There are huge and splendid tents up. There are rides and attractions. Nobody is on any of them. There is one very lonely looking funnel cake stand. And then beyond that is a path leading to 4 kind of looming houses painted in very bright colors.
Is that funnel cake also strangely bright compared to its?
It is. It's okay. You know, and it's also like in contrast with the glumness of the person working it. You know, the person manning the funnel cake is looking glumly on, at this sort of like chilly and kind of muted surrounds, but is also looking at a group of ghosts who seem to be arguing with a small crowd of people.
Actually, question before we continue, Manabel.
Yes.
Is everyone accounted for?
Do you mean of your party employees? Oh, well, you see, I'm not quite certain exactly what you mean. Why don't we walk around this very large oak tree in its perpetual autumn splendor? It's been growing for hundreds of years. I can show you off, and now that we're behind it.
I bet that says fully yes.
Yes. Yeah. So, two of our employees are non-undead. Are living employees have gone missing, which is actually really what set off this kerfluffle in the first place.
It was a good question then. All right.
Yeah. This it's really. Yes, madam.
Sorry, my ears were clogged for a second. Could you repeat that last bit?
Yes. Two employees have recently gone missing, and really, it's set off a chain of events which has led to this current kerfluffle. Really, I'm not, technically, we shouldn't have necessarily hired you all for this particular job. But all of us working in Haunted House Row have sort of pooled a few coins together, traded them in for the silver, and sent them off to the call centers. And Bob's your uncle. Here we are. It's very important to all of us. You see, we've all sort of walked out. And she peeks out from behind the giant oak tree and turns back. Okay, I think the coast is clear. I think we can all take a nice look out. I'll introduce you to some of my chaps, my fellows, my comrades in arms, working the exciting world of haunted house entertainment.
So who were the two employees who are missing before we?
Yes. There are two. One of them was a very recent addition to the team, the crew. Is a talking fox. Named Excamere, and also one of our fellow undead workers, Barracks.
Talking fox and the undead. The undead is a skeleton, or there's many undeads.
Oh yes. Oh, forgive me. I'm so sorry. Yes, of course. Oh, well, this particular chap was a skeleton. One of the best in the business. Really, we hired him specially. He wasn't even, haunting his own haunted house. He's haunted 100 houses. He's harrowed, tombs for hire. He was the toast of Unterland, and several centuries ago. But he's just one of the best, and we're all concerned about him. So once again, thank you for your time.
And is this what led to your walkout? Sorry.
No, I can't say that it is.
So that is a separate detail that just came up. So I'm interested. How does that relate to how you've got people missing separate from this haunting business?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, here it is. And sort of walks out into the center, and then in this square surrounded by tents in this sort of muted area. And at this point, everybody, even without a perception check, can feel that a cold wind and ill winds is sort of blowing around the corners of it. Are four houses, one faded blue, one pale white, one a deep rusty orange, and the other one overrun with vines and a dark ruddy green. This is Haunted Row. The island of Wintry Interhart, specially sent for this particular seasonal pavilion, a fully functioning, fully working at great expense, and points to the pale white house looming 3 stories tall. You know, there's bats circling around it, like there's almost a pocket of snow that's being built up slowly by the steps. It's got its own little microclimate. You possibly hear like the, you know, from somewhere inside the house, like the baying of a wolf. They sent at great expense this haunted house, a truly haunted house. And you know, a crew came with them of ghosts. One of the ghosts that was you know, had been haunting this particular house for hundreds of years, and it was a big risk. It's how do I put this? Relations between the seasons are not great at the moment. I'm sure.
So bad. They're bad.
So, well, bad is a negative word here, and we here in hospitality don't necessarily like using bad words. So just
that sounds like judgment.
You just used one
on the words.
You just said bad.
Now I feel bad
if
for
we're judging the words can't say what they need to.
Could it be a word that is haunting you?
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Yeah, if you could see a skeleton, a skull emote, my eyes go wide.
Well, that's very intriguing. Haunted concepts and words are, as we know, just terrible things. We'd love for you to check it out. But you see, part of the problem is, well, everybody's kind of blaming Winter on this one. They're kind of blaming Winter Haunted House. It's quite scary, but I have to tell you, I've been working haunted attractions for many a year, having risen up in the business, so to speak, from an actual haunting. It's well, I don't know how to describe it. It's a level of fright that one does not normally get in the sort of like windswept, cozy Hugh one is accustomed to fighting in Copia. It's been a smash hit. If you had come 2 days ago, the line would have been out the door. I can't. The true frights, thrills, chills, and spills available for everyone. But you know, things started turning a bit sour. We're all getting a little alarmed working there, and you know, the people who are running the seasonal pavilion attached to the city, I just want to just blame it on Winter and call it a day. And if that happens, we will be out of a job. So,
what about the people who came?
Oh, the people who came, the
people who came with the house from Winter. What do they?
Oh, yeah.
What is their opinion on it?
They swear up and down that it is not the house of Winter. You see, the house of Freeze here, as it's been started to finally cause. No, they swear up and down that it is not. Sure, it's got bad vibes, and it's eerie and it's scary, and the walls bleed, and there's, you know, gibbering phantoms in the basement, and you're left with a feeling of dread. But it's totally different. It's totally that's just
a trip to Interhart. Yeah,
yes. Yeah, that's giving the full Interhart experience in one little locale. That was the whole idea behind this pavilion in the first place. But if you'd like to, I can introduce you.
Yes. Bessemer, what did you say?
I was just saying, so if it's not that, then what is it? If it's that much worse,
we should interview them, right? And just get their saying on
that's what I want to know.
Then we are all in agreement.
I also want to know how long ago with it. So Excamere, he didn't come with the. My voice is turning into a drawl. It's okay. Excamere, he didn't come with the Winter House. He was separate. He's a separate part of the package, right?
Oh, yes. He was he was a floater, but he's not really a floater. We're the floaters, you see, lacking calves. He was sort of freely assigned as is needed, depending on crowds.
So where was he stationed? And also the barracks. Where was he stationed?
Well. They were both stationed at the Winter House. So
so that was a really important piece of information that you didn't say.
Well, it's
that was really missing, right? Like,
I just don't want you all to jump to the wrong conclusions ahead of time. As the facts reveal themselves.
So can I roll for like perception, or actually? I want to do something. This is driving me crazy. Can I like roll I don't know, perception or something. Like,
I think
'cause
if you want
I
to
want
stab
to
him,
see if
you
I
can
can
just do
pick
it.
up on like what he's not saying.
Absolutely.
Okay. So is that...
Yeah. And if you want to stab him, you just say the word. We got
Yes, yes. We'll do
Ooh,
the
I got
stabbing
it.
after this.
You've got 2 knives.
I got a 9.
And yes, I do have 2 knives.
I rolled a 9.
It's pretty good. What's left unsaid is also what has been a little bit said. Mandabelle is terrified of losing this job. Is truly really, you know, has been talking around this fact of them having disappeared to the Winter House, because the Winter House is really it's really the feature piece in this pavilion. Like, you really, the three other houses are great, scary, you know, what have you, but really winter's the key. And it's without the Winter House, it's nothing, and they're all going to lose their jobs. But at the same time, they cannot work under these conditions.
Okay.
So, well, it seems like if people are blaming Winter, and Winter has produced mysterious disappearances, we should start there. What do others think?
I think that sounds kind of xenophobic, honestly.
Well, right, but it's where the disappearances have started. So we
okay.
let's
I mean,
reappear the disappeared, and maybe they will lead us.
The skeleton man crosses his arms.
The skunk is just like hissing at the skeleton.
I do have one question about your departed co-workers, and that is, do you think they would do a haunting? There are lovely little, let's say, comics called Scoobled Doo, I believe, where sometimes disgruntled employees will do a fake haunting. And there are, this is, of course, the provenance of children and regular non-angel people, which is all of you.
Yes, Scobble Doe, the children's plays. Yes, I've seen those. The very original works of the Barbarian Hammer. I can't quite remember.
Hannah and Barbara,
yes,
yes.
the Barbarian. Yeah, this. I grew up watching the same plays myself. That's an interesting. A haunting that's a double haunting that's not really a haunting, but a not haunting. Well,
While
that's just
the two of you
intriguing.
contemplate this, I go over and lay hands on DCI Beans and Hurst, is it?
Hirsute.
Hirsute. Sorry, my font isn't large enough on my computer screen. I lay hands and because I haven't explained. Bessemer is very put together with as far as the fashion goes. Like, you can't tell, you're like, is she dressing up or down at all times? Like, it's very it's classy. It's like, is it Fiona Shaw but a witch? Kind of. Yes, we think so. And just while this whole philosophical conversation is happening, I go and, with the two of them like spitting at each other, lay hands separately on each of them to just, you know, without them really noticing, calm them down. Let's see, just to see if we could bring ourselves back into the room.
I think you might understand that Hirsute is just an asshole.
and I hold love and space for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I think you'd understand that DCI Beans was not a professional adventurer until the last year, when he was turned into a skunk after being promoted to Detective Chief Inspector of Turnip. And so he is sort of struggling with both being a skunk and also now being in an adventuring party instead of having a team of detectives underneath him. But yes, also just a skunk, and there's a skeleton and a demon like hanging out just casually. So yeah, but no, I think I like him purring, whatever skunks do.
We're gonna go with purring. Yeah. It should be noted that Bessemer Neversink is a healer of the healer classes of vocation specialty known as alienist. Which means that her witch magic is focused on the healing and the understanding of the mind, be they human or inhuman.
I didn't want to explain it, so thank you.
You're welcome.
I was just going to wait and see if they guessed.
What if Fraser Crane was a wizard?
I'm listening.
I'd watch that show. Yeah, so... Yeah, I think we all feel a lot better, right?
The coffee cup makes it also.
Well, okay, in this case, I think we should just, do the normal thing, which is get all the suspects, separate them, and talk to them one by one.
Yeah.
And good cop, bad cop,
Oh, I got an idea. Who was the closest to either of these two employees?
Who was the closest to the two employees?
Or even the last who saw them.
Oh, you mean collegiate chums, professionals?
Or whoever was on shift with them last.
Yeah,
witness to them.
Their favorite partners, anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
Lovers, perhaps.
Yep.
Well, that's actually the last person to see them probably would have sort of trails off. Oh, no, that should be fine. Oh, nothing. It should be fine. So her name is Arson Fahrenheither. And she is and sort of like points to a very tall woman with a shock of red hair shooting straight up, who is currently arguing with the ghosts in front of several of the houses.
Oh, back to my favorite part, the conflict.
I think
soothing.
I think I just scamper over immediately to this named person who is the last to see the missing employees from the House of Trees.
I think you do.
Scamper.
No, it's okay if we just ask questions, right? You don't need us to be chill or anything. I say from behind a big oak tree.
Just shouting at the
red and bulbous as you are.
Yeah,
oh, right. I scamper back and get my sack and then drag the sack.
Too far.
Yeah.
He's round. Is that not
so
fun?
after saying that, everybody who's shouting,
my brother you're talking about.
Everybody hearing Fasole, shout that behind the tree, everything just goes dead silent. The argument stops. They all turn to see the oak tree. As you're behind it, you've stopped conversation dead in its tracks, which is a really impressive skill, to be honest.
I don't know what a record is, but I think I just heard one scratch.
Oh, do you remember that salon we went to that one time? There's like that little round thing. It looked like a rock.
Yes, it was very strange that the rock was getting its hair done.
Yes.
Which one of you is Arson Fahrenheither? I'm now trying to get the gun out of my sack and hold it menacingly in order to impose not to hurt anyone, but because I no longer have a badge, and I also
you are just.
Wait, so
it is like a sign of office.
The gun was the next one.
Yeah.
Can I just walk up behind and continually just gently close the bag to prevent the gun from coming out as he frantically...
You two work that out between yourselves.
Get it out.
What happens? Yeah.
I'm still trying to gauge which one is Arson Fahrenheither while sort of gently fighting Bessemer over the Derringer.
Yeah. Yeah. So somebody in the crowd, one of the 4 or 5 ghosts who are in this argument with this tall, not undead woman, shouts like, "Look out! The skunk has got a gun!"
No, I'm a gendarme. I'm a bailiff of the city.
Everybody's like, "Whoa!"
That's right.
They, a couple of the ghosts realize that it's not an undead caliber, Derringer or anything, so they sort of calm down. But you never know what kind of bullets are in there. But
I lost my badge when I was vexed. Just everyone calm down. Who is Arson? We're looking for Arson Fahrenheither.
The tall beanpole of a woman sort of raises her hand up very high. She says, I'm Arson. What? Who are you?
We are what's the term? Questers?
Chill.
We are chill
we
questers.
Are neither of those things.
Look, we have been deputized by by someone. It doesn't. Could you come with us and answer some questions? Bessemer, can you help explain this?
Yes. First off, what do you need?
I need you all to get off of the fairgrounds immediately. If you haven't bought a ticket, turns to Mandibel and is like, no. You didn't hire these people, did you? What? No.
Hold on. Before we get into any of that, you seem to be having an issue here. What's going on here? Before we even arrived, there was something going on.
Well, yeah, I think that she sort of immediately clams up. I think roll a persuasion check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, can I lend a +1? I was about to call for a charm
Absolutely.
check, so I'd love to help
Yeah.
Bessemer by looking like a calm but imposing civic official and not, you know, a skunk
yeah.
waving a gun around in its mouth. But
Yeah.
What am I
really
rolling
don't
for
see how
persuasion, Ethan?
You're going to be rolling will.
Okay.
Isn't charm?
Oh, yeah, excuse me. Sorry, charm.
Oh,
Just
charm
like that.
is different. Okay, so that's hard. Because when I rolled will, I did well. And when I rolled charm, I got a 1.
Well, you can
Ooh.
also at any time you can also burn 3, 6, or 9 or whatever you have grit to try and add to the roll.
But a 1 is
for
a
future
one
reference.
is a
But a 1
big
is
fail.
1 is
Yeah.
that's done. So so she sort of like rubs the bottom of her eyes. You know, I will say this, that it very clearly, like, she hasn't gotten much sleep. She is, you know, despite a really, you know, fierce sort of red lip and a red eyeshadow, is like sort of trying to, you know, hide very terrible bags under her eyes, and is you know, saying, look, I'll tell you, this is you know, I'm disappointed in, you know, in turns to the ghosts, and there's 2, you know, living guys. One is just in a skeleton t-shirt, and another skeleton all sort of like bunched up there. Like, I'm disappointed in all of you, that you think that you'd have to go through back channels to solve this problem, when obviously we're doing all that we can here at the Seasonal Pavilion to sort of address your concerns. You know, I feel like I'm meeting all of you halfway on your demands, and then this. I don't know. Gosh, I don't know.
Hold on, can you so sorry. I know. But could you just, what's happening though? You know? Because we don't know, and we just got here. We're not trying to hurt anyone. So
Yet.
on the right, and fair point. Just saying not yet, which means like we could still be pretty cool, depending. So what's happening?
She sort of makes a big sigh. So DCI Beans, do you have any sort of official documents? You don't have your badge anymore because I imagine it's too large for a skunk.
No.
Do you have a...
But I am charming. May I roll charm to just
Absolutely. Yeah, just try it. Yeah.
They couldn't just strap the badge to you.
You know, I should have just written down
Like
badge,
a
but I
bolt.
wrote down I have a wheel of mature cheese in the sack, the tiny
would've just,
fedora
like,
on my head,
tied it with
3
a
bunches
rope.
of herbs in
Priority.
the sack, ink pot parchment in the sack, my old pipe gnawed off in the sack, robes now tattered, stitched back together to be skunk shaped.
Wait, what do you mean not off?
Gnawed up, like the
Oh,
pipe.
not
I tried
off.
to
I thought
smoke
you meant
it.
not
no,
off, like your
no,
pipe
no.
was still had fire in it and was burning.
and like
through.
100 silver
Not
in the sack.
off NOT.
Ethan, I'm rolling charm.
Yeah,
I
go
got
for
a
it.
3. I got a fucking 3 though. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Can I boost retrospect actively?
You can
Do you mind?
boost retroactively. Yeah, no, that's cool.
Okay, then I'm gonna
So
burn
within the
3
grit
there.
system, you can always have a set pool of grit, depending on your character and level, and you can always burn grit to change the hand of fate before your roll. But since we're just starting off this campaign, I'm going to graciously allow a back grit addition.
Thanks. Okay, so that would be a
Yeah.
6 with burning
That-
the extra.
Yeah, that would be a 6. So oh yeah, no, she rolled a 1. So that's you know, you see her sort of like humming and hawing, and then just flames off the side of my face. Just you know, she has like, you know, several rings on, and the rings, you know, start like jetting small flames out of them. Like, flames are literally coming out of her hair at this point. She's like, it's fine.
Like how far?
Not very far. Like about here. Like her hair is
but it's still in her personal space.
it's
I
in her
eat
personal
fire,
space.
So
Yeah.
I would
Like
have
if she had
some
like a
ladder
blood
goodness.
circle, for example, would it be in her blood circle or would it out her blood circle?
It would be within her blood circle, I think.
Okay,
really,
I
you know,
don't
yeah.
go to eat the fire.
Yeah, you don't go. But I'm sure it looks like, you know, I don't know if like suddenly her hair set or like her jewelry suddenly looks like a real snack at this point.
So demons eat secrets and fire, and
Yeah.
no one's telling us secrets. So
you know, you can always try and move the conversation in that direction to desire. Yeah, so she failed that. She's like looking at this skunk, and like she's like, oh, wait a minute, I remember. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, sir. Yeah, you're that PI, right? legumes, somethings. I can't. Yeah,
Detective Chief Inspector Bean Crisp Mintlon Jaggerwall. I was promoted to Detective Chief Inspector the day that I went out on a case and was bevexed into this new form, which is perfectly comfortable, I should say.
Great use of the word bevexed.
Yeah, I remember you. Your temporary replacement, the attaché. He's the one who inspected the grounds in the first place. He told me about you. Well, yeah. So right.
Will you speak to us? We are on a quest to help
I'll
you,
speak to you.
I think, or help everyone in Turnip.
You know, she turns to the ghosts and is like, you know, this conversation is not over, and turns back to y'all. She's like, you know, if they're official quest scrolls, there's not much I can do. Fine, whatever. I'll help out as much as that I can. What do you want to know? Esteemed adventurers, who I presumably have been officially besieged in a legally constant way, which I cannot stop at this point.
Oh yes, we do have those papers, right? And we can all hold up our quest
simultaneously holding your little scrolls. Yeah,
it's on my rib cage.
You know, she does actually look. She's like, yeah, no, this all seems to be in order. Well, shit. Fine. How can I help you?
With everyone, I think our questions are about the missing persons, yes?
Yes, right. Yeah. Okay, well, all right.
So I do have one question. Before that.
Go for it.
What happened first, the missing people or the problems?
That's a fair question.
Well, you know, my memory is not quite clear on that. I guess I'd have to really.
Do you want me to take a poll?
This is hard because that's just a fact, though.
Yeah, this so it's very obvious she is keeping this a secret and doing a very bad job of it.
Secrets? You hungry?
Yeah.
Can I? Okay.
I realize I don't have any social powers except if they're undead.
Does she want? I mean, we don't know what she wants, though, right? I think that's the issue.
No idea what she wants. Just knows you've convinced her that she is not immediately going to try throwing you off of the grounds. Not sure how she would, considering the fact that it's very clear half the staff is against her at this point. But
perhaps if that is an uncomfortable question to answer, another one may be: did the people who are missing ever experience the problems?
She sort of squats down into the rusty colored grass, and is sort of just looking off into the horizon, and then sort of is like, now actually she's eye level with DCI Beans. It looks up at Fasole and is like, yeah, they experience the problems too. They all experience the problems. Look, we all experience the problems.
It is not a Scoobles-Doo situation. Unless...
So, could you describe the problems that you all experienced either together or in multiple separate locations?
Separately, right?
Yeah. So they all start talking at once.
No, like, not like that.
I was feeling a bit of dread.
Do not talk all at once,
please. I feel like all right.
Quickly,
Detective. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you think we should maybe set up like an interview room? And
that's what I said. We separate them. But are there rooms available in a haunted house that is itself haunted? This is a question.
Yes. Well, I mean, there are haunted houses, but I mean, there's haunted houses and there's haunted houses. So I suppose choose any one of them. Really, I suppose that the problem area is ostensibly in winter. Maybe it's not the most ideal choice, but it might prove something. But really, the house of trees over there is the spring house. The house of breeze is the autumn house. The house of freeze, you know, is the house of winter, and the house of heats over there is the summer house.
Couldn't have rhymed that one.
They were really, it's. I didn't say it, but really, when is summer does its own thing. They took some convincing even to simply not just call it the House of Summer, to be honest. Not my bag.
Don't I know it?
Is one place a little more less haunted than the others, or are they all equally screwed up?
So the ghosts turn to each other. They're sort of whisper, sort of huddle up and, you know, the guy who's just wearing the skeleton t-shirt looks down, just push back into the circle and comes back up. They all turn and look at you lot and you know, say, yeah, I guess your best bet is probably you know, the house of trees and the house of breeze. So the autumn or the spring are probably your best bet.
Hang on, you don't
feeling
have
the least. Well, yeah, the tents are full of like you can go to the tents if you want to. They're off the side, but like honestly, like they're setting up various unfair carnival attractions, extremely cursed object hunts and so on, and a second funnel cake stand. So really, you can use it if you want. These are closer, so again, do what you will.
Okay. Should we just go in the autumn one since we're here in Copia? And it is autumn.
It's autumn in autumn in autumn.
Cute.
Yeah. So if you decide to go to the autumn house, on the southward side of this little quadrant of these houses, is a house which is sort of very in a sort of charming, almost but not quite twee way, been assembled to look a little cantilevered, slanted on one side, rickety, old timey. The House of Breeze was put together with the help of many of the carpentry unions and a couple of local art schools in the port of Turnip, really trying to meet the challenge of the House of Freeze. Now that it's here on this pavilion, there is a very tall, 10-foot tall mahogany door on a little slat, and there's a little ticket booth in front of it. So Arson walks up to it, puts a little official-looking like ticket token into the slot, pulls it back out like with a string, and the door opens up very slowly, and you hear a wispy voice from inside say like, "Beware, beware, autumn comes for us all," and she shouts into it, "Okay, we're not starting yet. Thank you, 10.
Should we make like a will check to avoid like running away and
this is a sonorous booming voice, it is echoed, and this is somebody who's clearly like their profession is terrifying people.
All right, yeah, sure, I'll make a check.
I rolled a 3 on a will check, so I think I'm just running away.
Oh, poor skunk.
You don't just
dragging the
shoot?
sack.
I
No,
rolled a
that's a
4,
9.
so I can't
I'm
keep
not.
up with the skunk, but
Wow.
I rolled a 9. I'm not easily frightened.
I have an 8.
So one skeleton and one wispy witch are standing there while a demon in armor and a skunk go running down the steps as fast as they can.
Okay.
Back into the main quad.
Arson, that was your name? I'm just gonna spell that.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have a list of the well, let's start with, okay, I'm gonna turn to Bessemer. How about we start with interviewing the people of the Winter House and then work outwards from there?
Okay. Didn't we just walk up to this autumn house though?
No, we'll have interviews with each one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Bring them all in.
Bring them all in.
Well, not at the same time. Like one
One
exactly.
by one.
One by one, not all at once, but together.
Yeah, unless they want a friend with them. I mean, I don't know
if we should do that. I feel like DCI Beans would not approve.
Ethan, are you going to let us
running on all fours
when we can come back?
You can definitely
hear.
I'm going to shout.
Has the scary man gone away?
Beans.
Arson,
interview them together.
Arson shouts back, "Yeah, he's taking 5." And stomping out of the 10-foot tall doorway is a half-stone giant. Still in their pantags, which means they are a young giant, which means that they are an 8-foot tall human folk looking person with stony gray skin. The ground shakes as they walk by, and she says, "Gallant, we're gonna be interviewing people. Just take a moment. It's fine." And he says again, he's like, "All right, that's fine." And his voice still has that infrasonic, terrifying quality to it, as he sort of lurches down the stairs, shaking them all away.
I will not get used to that.
It's safe to come back. Everybody can go inside should they desire.
Oh, great. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely run back with like a kebab or whatever they're selling. That seems more like something a skunk could digest. I keep learning the same lesson over and over again.
Yeah, it's a specialty of Copia and Turnip. It's a squash blossom kebab. They're fried. They're delicious.
Great. So I answer Bessemer's question while with a mouthful of squash blossom wrapped meats or whatever that I am. Of course, we must separate all these subjects. Sorry, I did not run away. I was just inspecting something. I saw something suspicious going on with the meat stand, so I had suspicious.
I give him a wee pet on the head.
Oh.
A nice one, not a condescending one.
Brother, how are you so brave in the face of something so terrifying?
You've taken all my fear away from me.
Arson, cracks her head out. She's
serial killer there, but my bad.
It's perfect. Arson is like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but okay. Yeah, so she motions inside. You enter into the vestibule of the House of Breeze, and it is absolutely charming on the inside. It has perfectly hit that note of haunting and spooky and scary, but also elegant and artistic. There are holes in the wall through which large oak branches covered in fiery orange forever orange leaves are filling into it. They are coming from nowhere. There's some sort of charmed space right behind it, so it looks like they're coming out of nighttime. There is a grand spiral staircase that leads up to a living room area. The vestibule is very narrow. She says, "Yeah, I guess you're supposed to come up the spiral staircase, and I suppose right at the base of it, at the top, is the best place. There's a nice chair. I'll tell them not to shake the furniture. We'll take the charms off, and we can just do this by the books."
Great.
And so she disappears behind. She's shouting to people. Just telling everybody to take 5. There's a floating pots and pans sort of descend, and somebody becomes visible. A large furry hand opens up a trapdoor, and a green bear sort of saunters out of it, and various human folk in really fantastically carved paper mache outfits. One of them whose head may or may not actually be an octopus. Just the actors are clearing out, and a little bit of the charm as the lights come off is lost. As it the candles are all lit inside, the lanterns are turned on, and you can start seeing the veneer of the place, the facade, like the careful paint job to make it look spooky when the lights are dim. There's a table at the top of this handsome spiral staircase, which is also dark and sinister looking and expertly carved. She's like, well, you don't have to see the whole in and out of the House of Breeze, but yada yada. Welcome to your doom. Here you'll get lost forever in the House of Breeze. Blah blah blah. All right, take it away. She's like, I'm gonna go for a smoke. I'm gonna go find some lunch, and let me know when it's time to interview me if you want to, because I do not care anymore.
All right.
Later, losers. And she just sort of walks through the crowd of ghosts who are
hang on. Can I grab her?
Of course.
Have a nice day.
Great.
She looks at her suit and she's like, I like this guy. And sort of saunters off. When she's gone like this, you see in your palm she has left her business card.
Sweet. What's it say?
It says Arson Fahrenheither, special events manager for the seasonal pavilion, Haunted House Row.
Well, why don't we start with Arson, because she was the last to see the two who went missing, correct?
Well, that's why I stopped her, but then no one else said anything, so I was
okay.
Like,
I was not sure why she thought she should leave. Arson, you are being detained. You're still being detained. You are never not being detained. We just wanted to move indoors
Oh God.
to get you away from your friends. Don't make me break out the gun. I love
Leave the gun down.
She walks back in. As she walks back in, she pulls the business card out of your hand if she can.
I do not let her.
So she sort of lets it die. Just a bundle of fury. Walks up to the top of the spiral staircase and just sits down with her knees spread at this very handsome dark green wood table. She's like, "What do you want to know?"
What happened the last time you saw them? Thanks, Beans.
She says, "All right, here's how it happened. It was the last time we saw them was it was yesterday. It was the morning. It was overcast. This was a crowd had started coming in. All the high rollers who had gotten their VIP tickets, came through to be spooked first, and just as somebody who I know personally who I'd invited all the way from North Copia on one of the treasure ships comes in, Examiner, our fox, our resident Chicky Fox can move all the little levers, can cast all the really intricate little tiny fuzzy spells to really creep people out. Just comes bolting through, right up the staircase actually, and sort of stopped right here, and got into this very table, and said, "I don't think it's a good idea to open," and scampered into the back. And we went to follow him, or rather, my coworkers went to go follow him, and I stayed outside trying to calm down the crowd. And that's we hear this sound, and the sort of we talked to some other people, and they said that they saw him later on working at the house of the Winter, the House of Freeze. And then after that we didn't hear hide nor hair of him. Didn't show up for the afternoon shift, never clocked out, and ever since then has been missing.
But to be clear, you are not the last person who saw the fox.
No, I'm not the last person to see the fox.
Next other question. Could you just sorry.
Nothing.
There you go.
I just asked what the fox said.
Oh, amazing.
We all know what the fox said.
Kind of
really.
There was this sound on beat that went on for about 8 bars, and
yeah, that was my actual question. What was the sound? Can you describe it?
It's like a.
All right, I am going to write that down.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect shorthand.
When you figure out how to spell it, let me know.
Now, here's the thing. This is where it gets really confusing to me. I'm sorry. So they told me that they saw the fox at the House of Freeze later, and then I asked around to see who saw him working there, and I couldn't get a straight answer from anybody. People just said, "Oh yeah, so and so said, oh blah blah blah." Expaginine said that, Mandabelle said that, Barrick said that, blah blah blah. But nobody said. In the end, I don't know. They just kept saying that. I don't know who saw the fox last. Somebody did. Everybody says that somebody else saw that fox working in the House of Freeze later in the afternoon and then disappeared. But as to who, I'm flummoxed.
Actually, I think maybe an interesting question would be, who saw them right before they came in?
Right before they came in, where?
When they stormed in, ran up the stairs, says, "I don't think we should do the show."
Oh,
why did they think that? Let's just work backwards from there.
Yeah. So working backwards. Let's see. My palace. Let's see. Working backwards. I suppose the last person here. Let's see. I came through there, then Mandabelle, then the last person who saw the fox was Barracks.
Who is missing?
Well, that
missing?
doesn't really help us.
No, because they went missing too.
Right.
6 hours later.
Who was the last person to see
Hours
Barracks?
later. They did not.
Well, the last person to
missing
see
together.
was me.
Okay, so you. So it is you, Barracks, Eczema.
Yeah.
Well, my question was the last person who saw them before you. You're saying that was Barracks?
That was Barracks, and the last person to see Barracks was me. So
right.
I saw the last person who saw the last people who disappeared.
All right. I guess walk us through.
When you saw Barracks? Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, when I saw Barracks, yeah, I saw Barracks. Walking between the houses, kind of looking kind of funky, kind of looking a little distraught. I said, "Hey, do you need to take your hour early?" Barracks said, "It's fine. Consummate professional, that guy." And I saw him sort of go back around to the backside of the back around to the backside of the house of Freeze, and that was the last I saw of him. And then apparently people said that he went missing.
What people?
That's the thing. People are saying that people are saying. I can't get a straight answer.
Who told you?
Who told me? Who told me?
Point a finger.
It was Mandibel.
You all clearly hate each other.
No. Let's be clear here. I respect all of them and wish they would act more professional. They all hate me.
Yeah, that's
the
not what they
special events
said.
manager of this haunted house. What did they
Why
say?
do they hate you?
Because I'm trying to keep this whole operation running on time.
And
they're the
don't like things running on time?
They don't like things running. I don't know what they're. Everybody's getting spooked out. It's a haunted house. Everybody's scared.
Things running on time sounds like a dog whistle to me.
It's literally my job. I don't understand.
So just from like a player perspective,
yeah,
the person who hired us is like a union boss for the ghosts, and this person is kind of like the event manager, like a manager class, presumably hired by like rich people in the city to put on the haunted houses.
That's a fair assessment.
The issue is essentially that the haunted houses are supposed to scare people, but not actually hurt them. But people are now like missing.
People are going missing.
And has anyone been hurt, or it's just 2 people have gone missing?
Well, truth be told, people haven't been hurt, but they are not coming back. I would say up until about 3 days ago, we've had, I would say, half of our business are people coming back again and again and again. We've only been open for 2 weeks.
So people aren't physically hurt, but they're emotionally scarred.
There it is, right there.
So not fun. Not fun.
I think we were asking
it's not fun. It's supposed to be.
Out of character answer was no one has told us yet.
Got it.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be awful, scary, fun, scary, not awful, scary.
I have a thought. If this is all tied to disappearances that happen at the House of Freeze, then we should go inspect the scene. Maybe pause the interviews, go look at the actual scene before it's degraded by the movements of people.
Right. How about can you just walk us to the exact spot where you saw Barrick? You say he was walking between houses?
Absolutely. I could walk you there right now, right here, right now.
Right, with that work beans?
Yeah.
Yes, and actually, and as we do that, do we want to take a very quick IRL break?
Yes.
At this juncture, while we're leaving the House of Breeze to go to the House of
Breeze to go to the House of Freeze. Yeah.
I just picture the House of Freeze as Frieza themed from Dragon Ball Z, and that's the scary part. Is this
just like big purple.
Yeah.
It's just
you're talking about like when in his dad's ship when he got injured.
Oh, that hideous scene where he's got like no.
Let's save it for the chat. So we'll be we're taking a 1 minute break. We'll be back in like 1 minute and then wrap this up.
You want 1 minute?
Right back. Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
2 minutes.
2 minutes? Okay,
2 minutes. We'll be right back.
2 minute break. It's just gonna be a 2 minute break.
Oh, if I went like this and a cocktail appeared right now, that would be mighty fine. But alas.
If I go like this right now and shipyard pumpkin.
See, smarter pumpkin ale, perfectly seasonally appropriate.
Classic.
I just want to say we are not being sponsored by Claritin.
You're not what?
We're not being sponsored by Claritin. That's all. No. Also, wife, I think you're logged into 2 different accounts at the same time.
Yeah. It is a function of streaming to 2 different destinations. I don't know how to change that. But...
It's interesting because it shows up in our StreamYard, but it doesn't show up on Twitch like that.
Yeah. That's I just learned.
Oh, does it choose one?
If you're only viewing Twitch through one or the other, so you're just seeing one of the posters.
Oh, I see.
I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, I just keep the Twitch on my phone to make sure everything's not screwed up.
Oh yeah, I'm not that responsible.
And to talk in the chat.
So we walk to the house of Freeze.
Frieza!
That's Lord Frieza.
No.
That was a pretty good phone.
That was really good. Yeah, so as you're talking, Arson Fahrenheit she's gesticulating sort of, pretty explain, like she's trying to explain, like, the only islets to really, commercialize the idea of a haunted house was Interhart, really just because the standards of scariness there are so high. Really just, I mean, the potential for it is fantastic. If we could really, sell this, like, think about it like a haunted house, like, everybody thought it was nuts, but the public's just been so, like, I feel like it's a really expansive potential industry. Like, it's, just think about every season putting on something like this. So you can understand the stakes are really high for us here.
Sure.
So yeah. Well, anyway, we're here. It is a patch of ruddy grass. There's sort of a dirt path that goes to all 4 of the houses leading from the south north. Deliberately going past the food kiosks and unfair game kiosks, which are slowly being set up. The part that is right across from the House of Freeze is sort of like past all of that to the, like, sort of wider open field where the tents are being set up. The last I saw was walking around this corner, right to the left, right that way, right past the eastern wall of the House of Freeze.
Could you
walk that way?
Yeah, it was, of course we can go there right now. How
about I stand here and I watch y'all do it, and then I'll see, and you reenact pointing at Arson. Like, you reenact it. Yes.
Yeah. So Arson says, like, so I was sort of walking. This is me. Look at me. I'm Barracks. I'm a professional. Just waving to everybody. I'm really blah blah blah. I take a left here. And moves to the left. So then I go behind the house and.
Okay.
Did she stop talking?
No, she goes behind the house and stops.
Just narrating. Okay. Can I use the power, which is a class power of the unnaturalist, the unnatural detective, investigator, scientist? It's called Obverse Observe. And if I study a scene for 1 minute and burn 5 grit, I can relate any scene that took place there within the last 24 hours. Yes. So I'd like to use Sherlock Holmesian process of deduction of looking at twigs and such to figure out whatever the hell, like, what is going on. I feel like we need a little help.
Like the Robert Downey Jr. kind.
Yeah. Flash bulb going off. Redo.
I was thinking more. I was thinking Benedict Cumberbatch for sure. But
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But again, I'm like Hercule Poirot, but a skunk.
Yeah.
Oh, so David Touche.
We're just saying.
Well, you are doing the French accent, so it is David.
Yes. I don't have to roll, right? It just wait. Let me look at the class power. Yeah, I burned 5 grit.
Yeah, you burn grit,
and it takes 1 minute, so I can't do it like while getting attacked in combat. And I look around and look at all the clues. So, Ethan, what if anything does?
So does it go by in your head like sort of like a cloud of ideas, like a flashbulb, like a series of photographs? Like how does it sort of play out as you're watching it happen?
Yes, it used to look like a illuminated tapestry with many different scenes, and my mind would almost take a thread and connect them together. But that's when I was a human. For the last year, it has been more like the smell of deer's fart, and then look, a cricket, and then look, an owl, and then is that poop? No, just a rock. But yeah, same effect basically. I'm noticing the whole environs, etc., etc.
Perfect. Yeah. So your sort of skunk vision and olfactory sense sort of is zooming around the scene, like almost like a montage. And the grass right around this area, clearly 24 hours ago, was alive, and now it's dead. It wasn't stomped down like the rest of the pathway. It was completely withered. You see a skeleton, sort of like you could see the footprints, you could see the calcaneus bones and their tarsals, you know, in the imprints of the dirt, walking through, and then you can see, you know, this you smell the smell of calcium as he abruptly turned heel and tried to run away, and then suddenly wasn't there, and the air itself has like a pungent, almost ozone-y smell, the sort of kind of a telltale that something has vanished in some way. And the one part of the House of Freeze, all of its cold clapboards are out of joint a little bit. They've become disjointed. So playing it all back to translate more, Barracks sauntered over and then suddenly saw something or felt something, tried to run away and probably vanished. And since that time period, the grass around the area where he abruptly vanished died, and something rotted away parts of the clapboards of the House of Freeze.
Okay, but I don't get a sense of what like it just. I'm seeing the physical effects without the scene. Am I able to see the scene in the sense?
Absolutely. So in the scene is sort of can one of the players be Barracks for a moment?
Yes, of course.
Oh, fantastic. So Barracks, a grand old actor of the stage tradition, is going for his his evening constitutional. He's got a little bit of a break in between shifts, but he's memorized all of his beats, all of his cues. And he's just sort of chasing a thought, chasing a feeling, going on an ambulation.
Ambulating.
Are you narrating this? Or am I doing this?
I can narrate it. So Barracks turns, sees somebody that he thinks he recognizes from across the way in the House of Breeze, and waves to say hello, and then says a couple of words. And then turns around and the sound of wood snapping suddenly fills the air, and it snap, and turns around, and a section of the house has sort of hurriedly rotted away in a way that is beyond frightening. It is simply shocking. This doesn't feel like magic. This doesn't feel like some sort of techniques or one of the many special effects that's happening. Instantly knows deep within his bones that something is wrong. And in that moment, out of the ground comes the splintering of woods, and Barracks is pulled into the ground, clawing at the air, having tried to turn heel and run. And the ground sort of swallows him up, and then the grass around that area over the next hour fades and dies.
Okay, so swallowed from below by like a magical effect,
by a horrible something. Yeah.
Beans narrates all this very matter-of-factly to the team based on the various impressions.
So now it's a shot like an undershot with all of our heads looking at presumably the patch. And then we can put that on the cover. It's like all of our heads looking.
Right.
Yeah,
like
looking together. That's the cover image. Yeah.
Yeah. Starting Shia LaBeouf. Caveman. That's Caveman.
Okay, so who would have the power to do this? Do we? Sorry, Jeff. You can just keep going. Just keep going.
Keep going. Please keep going.
We're done. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I have the power to call foul beasts of the wild with giant maws, and they may eat their prey, which is a person, and bring them forthwith.
Well,
But they
we
usually
could
don't come out of the ground.
We could see if it's like a Maraway problem.
Oh, like the yeah, like so the you mean like a Marrow network?
Yeah. So maybe someone
Yeah.
gives a summary of the Marrow Barrow network in the world of the Sometimes Kingdom.
Sure. So anybody working with the undead has access to it, but it was built primarily by and for the undead in ancient times. However, in recent years has been thoroughly modernized with new infrastructure. The Marrow and Barrow network crisscross underground areas of many of the
Actually,
different
can I make
islands.
a quick note?
Absolutely.
That's how you know it's fantasy.
How? Because of the oh no, yeah, you know,
Yeah,
the real
It's been updated with new infrastructure. Yeah.
the real fantasy of the Sometimes Kingdom and Seasons Keep overall is that all the various forms of government, despite their tensions and corruptions, are actually effective at building infrastructure and dealing with problems as they come up. That's its utopian element.
Praise be.
Yeah. So that's hypothesis. That makes sense here. So that is a very good idea to investigate. Do you know of an entrance or something? How do we?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Find the
I've never
train.
been here before, so perhaps they fell in some sort of like pothole or some sort it was like a mistake.
Yeah.
That would be a very big and dark pothole. my friend.
More like a sinkhole,
Yeah.
but a self-healing sinkhole.
Like an evil hole.
Ooh, an evil gash.
Or a hole that doesn't like grass.
An anti-grass.
Never met a hole that
evil
didn't like grass,
gash.
honestly.
I'm less concerned with the grass,
Heyo.
but
Well, but the grass is still here, and there's no hole.
I can also try something actually. If you go on.
please
Which
say more.
is
I'm gonna use a power. It's called Friends in Low Places. So I spend 6 grit, and I magically summon an ally who is a skeleton. They punch their way out of the ground, arriving at the end of the round.
Yeah.
They're not my friend per se, but they're sympathetic to some bones in need. And what do I want them to help with? I want them to help with seeing if maybe they know where Barrow went. Presumably they're coming out of a similar ground, so maybe they know what's
yeah,
underneath.
they're
Yeah.
coming out
Or
of the
maybe it's
same
Barrow.
ground.
So you use the power, can do it by anything from literally calling on a walkie-talkie, if that's the sort of thing you have on your person, to putting your
I
hand
think
on the ground.
it's more of a ham bone.
More of a ham, like a
Yeah.
signaling them with acoustics, deep within the earth, and for a second there's nothing.
Oh, do you need the spoons?
Yes, please, brother. Can you pass me the spoon?
Yes, of course.
They've got to be bright red iron spoons. They're hewn from the same metal as your armor. It came together as a set.
I don't know how to make the ham bone sound.
Spoons, please. Thank you.
Ham bone, and so there's a rumbling in the ground after a delay, and not in that patch of ground, but like past the houses, about like 10 feet. A absolutely completely desiccated skeleton hand punches through, and it's a skeleton wearing a black leather jacket with spikes and studs off of it, wearing a pair of orange sunglasses and enamel, and says, yeah man, what's up? How can I help an ally?
Yeah, someone went missing last night, and they fell into the grounds here, so I was wondering if maybe you heard anything while you were under there.
Oh yeah, well, you mean like right here, like right where you guys are standing? Oh man,
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, that's a bad scene over there, man. None of us, we all give that section over there from that house over there to that house over there, points to the House of Freeze, and then the House of Breeze. It's like, oh, we give that a wide berth. I didn't even want to come up in the ground underneath there. Just it's a bad scene. I can't describe it. We don't know if it's just if it's bedrock or something's down there, but I'll tell you, no.
Is there a network entrance over there or no?
Oh, there's a network entrance over here.
There's one inside the House of Freeze if you want it. We use it to get to and from work sometimes if you want to check it out.
Oh, but it's not like in this spot right here.
It's not in this spot, right? No, absolutely not. I tell you, if the Marrow Network ran underneath that spot, we would work night and day to try and move it around.
Well, I mean, that doesn't sound.
There might be a connecting tunnel or something. I don't know.
Yeah, works enough for me. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, no, that's very suspicious, right? So Marrow Network, not the answer, and you're afraid of it. Good.
Well, he
sir.
mentioned a connect. Maybe there might be a connecting tunnel if you want.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, are there any bricked up tunnels over there?
Yeah, there might be down below. Yeah, there's an official CLU 1, 2, 3. You got I can't tell. I don't really know how demons are, are alive. We're all the same, really. But
well, if you tell me the secret, I'll eat it.
Yes, it is. Well, well. Let me tell you, the secret is if we walk through the House of Freeze, you can get through the turnstile. You can just use your tickets from the actual from the fairgrounds themselves to get through if you want to. We've worked it up all nice and copacetic, so we don't have to pay extra when we're clocking in.
Great,
Brilliant.
great.
And he takes the piece of paper that he wrote that down on from the book, rips it out, and just shoves it in his mouth, like crumples up and shoves it in his mouth.
As you do that, he sort of like gets like when your hair stand on the back of your neck, except that it's this like cervical vertebrae. He's like, I feel a little lighter all of a sudden. That's pretty good. Oh, wow, what a great. It's nice. Honestly, we've all been really stressed out lately. It's nice to talk to some sympathetic ears.
And why have you been stressed out, person who lives under the ground, Sarah? If I may ask.
Oh well, I came all the way from. I tell you, I'm like a couple of the other. A couple of the guys came over from Spring, and then I came over from Winter, from North Interhart and Breckett. Like I got hired special to come here, and we made our way on one of our skeletal attaches and made our way down into the Marrow Network. We set up everything. We're going to be like, this is going to be the life of Riley, like this is going to be great. We're going to work all season here, man. We're going to get baked. We're going to have a good time. We're going to put in our hours. We're going to show people what a real scare is. And, I didn't even get a chance to get hired. They shut everything. I got here 2 days ago and they stopped hiring. Now the whole thing might get shut down. So it's got us all a little freaked out. And there's just something about that space over there. Oh, I'm baked right now. If you want some.
Feeling good for you.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, it's important. This is the good stuff from back home. But
it's always 5 o'clock underground.
That's not true. Time flows. It does not matter.
Right on. Yeah, this guy gets it right here.
Right. So, so giant thing comes up. Scary area. We're in the scary area. Scares even the scary.
The scary. She got to me for 2 seconds ahead of me. I'll tell you. He's turning into Beetlejuice accidentally. I was trying to go for Metalhead, but yeah. I tell you what. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to check out underground, we can just walk right through that house right there.
Yeah, sure. Let's go. Right? Does anyone else have a clue?
I mean, that's the biggest clue. Maybe we can. We could just try digging straight under where he disappeared.
Just like go straight down.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a shovel?
I start digging furiously, but I probably can't dig that much that fast, so I get tired pretty fast too.
That's really great. Erica, 4 to 6 hours, you'll be all set. That's fantastic. Way to go.
Well, I mean, if anyone has like digging magic or.
Sorry, no, I don't have any digging magic.
Ethan, would the spell lightning drop actually blow up a lot of ground here or not? Is it?
It absolutely would. You would probably have to get the heck out of the way.
You'd probably blow up the side of the house.
Well, let's see what happens.
Because it's right next to the ground, it's like right next to the foundation.
We haven't disproven that this House of Freeze is part of the problem, right? I mean, we understand the problem is in between two houses, and maybe one or more is involved. Why don't I try? I'm going to burn to help get us started. I'm just going to drop one lightning thing on it. So I burn 2 grit. some going through grit. And
I
I'll
move
read
out
the
of the way.
description. Yeah. Oh yes. Everyone should move out of the way. Lightning will fall from the sky on the spots and blow it up.
Fasola clanks away.
The skeleton who's been helping her suit, who's named Trafalor, is still 10 feet away from where he punched out of the ground. He's like, I'm just gonna stay over here.
So what happens
I'm gonna
is
join you actually.
a large wooden cutout
Passing
of
one over.
lightning, like the sky fills with wooden cutouts of storm clouds very quickly, and suddenly they're kind of small above us, and then
Like
a
a
large
middle school play.
Yeah, like a middle school play thunderbolt just falls directly down, and where it hits, there's actually like thousands and thousands of insert correct unit here, whatever, amps, joules, whatever. There's a ton of energy released, and it just blows a hole in the ground. And Ethan, you can tell us how much it.
Yeah, there's the the sound effect sound of thunder, like when you get like a saw and you go like
wong, wong, wong,
as
wong,
these
wong,
fake
wong,
clouds form, and then suddenly a giant cutout lightning bolt falls from the sky, and it is a blinding white sort of like shock explosion, just like real lightning, hits the ground and scorches the earth. There is an earth-shattering boom. How far away has everybody moved? Have you all like gotten like at least 5 feet away, or
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
okay.
fucking far.
Yeah. Well, that's good because it blasts the ground so tremendously that like sections of it to like the sides are turned immediately into like obsidian glass, or like a molten like kind of red burning glass, and a section of the House of Freeze, it just explodes. Wood shards go everywhere. You hear from the other side of the house, you hear like, what the fuck? As Arson comes running back around the other side of the house in time to see this giant smoldering, glassine crater into the side of the House of Freeze. Once the smoke clears, there is a kind of like sideways slant, almost like a slide of this like rapidly cooling glass. 100. And there is from deep within inside that hole, like in the distance, you hear in movies where you hear that the sort of like wobbling insect sound, like chunks of the House of Freeze are missing, it's a real bad scene. You've blown a hole into the side of the House of Freeze.
How's the foundation doing?
The foundation is it's not great, but it's not great. The house isn't in danger of collapsing, but this is really old wood. This was an old house that they brought over and reproduced here, using both magic and sound flat packing architectural.
I guess the snow probably helped with it not igniting, though. From the
probably there is definitely a cloud of steam, though, that's sort of like emanating. It sort of flash burnt off like all of the piles of eerie snow, like over the sort of rotting stone that made up the frontispiece of it and the stairway up. There's just steam coming off of it. This hole now, like it extends underground below the House of Freeze.
So can I scamper forward when it's safe and look down the hole and see, is there a connection to anything?
Do you have like does anybody have a light or a lantern or a lamp or
I have
a
a
tower?
torch.
Oh, torch, perfect.
So I just breathe fire on it, and
Oh, perfect. So
how far down are we talking? Like it's down into the depths.
It's down. So it goes down. So it like the lightning itself blew a hole that was like about into the basement level. Of course, there is no basement because it's not a real haunted house. It is a real haunted house, but they didn't put in a basement.
Good faith.
Yeah. The thing is, though, it turns out the house actually does have a basement. There is definitely a basement there, and it goes a lot farther down than it should. Even with magic, they cut a couple of corners. They didn't magically put in a basement. All the house is 3 stories high. It's supposed to be 3 stories of chills and terrors. There was no basement, but there definitely is one. And it is very, very deep.
How about we get a spike and some rope and we just let's jump down.
Yeah, this seems like we found the root of the problem. There's a secret evil basement. That seems pretty sketchy, right, guys?
And it's pulling guys into it.
Yeah.
You know, Arson's like looking in there.
So
like,
why don't we jump right on in?
Yeah. Guys just keep
But
going
we're not
into this
being
hole.
pulled.
Yeah. It's like, I don't.
They don't stop.
This is not supposed to be there. But no, don't go into that hole. Don't do that. Like,
But what if
feel
this
a lot
hole was
better
made
if
for
I
us?
choose to go there than if I'm pulled in.
Yeah.
True.
Exactly. And this hole could be made for us. This could be our hole.
We kind of did make the hole.
it is for you because it is of you.
It's really Beans' hole.
Yeah.
It's for everyone. Look.
Yeah.
A shared hole.
Right. Let's just keep saying the word hole. There's no way anyone will misconstrue any of our meanings.
Hirsute, do you want your ally to continue on with you or Skitty?
Well, I think he helped already. I think he pretty much did what I summoned him to do.
All right. Well,
actually, do you have a spike?
A spike? No, I don't have a spike, but I'll tell you what. And snaps his radius off, like right here, and pulls it out of the dried sinews of it. He's like, well, he walks over. He's like, this is as far as I'm getting. And hands you his snapped.
All right,
radius.
I'm gonna use that as a spike. Tie some rope to it, and I'm gonna hammer into the ground. All right.
Styloid process will stick right in.
And you're using it for a styloid process. Anatomy humor. Okay.
Anatomy humor.
Anatomy. It's anatomical, you guys.
That was the one part. That was the one anatomy I didn't do. Human anatomy. Anyway.
So you did like
mollusk anatomy. Like mollusk anatomy and like other invertebrates and some vertebrates, but we didn't really get to humans.
Never humans.
Maybe mollusks will come up later when we're down there. I don't know. Maybe there's mollusks.
Like
mollusks.
cucumbers or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
sorry,
a sea under there.
That was Jeff lore. My bad. That was me lore, not the character lore.
I could have been either.
Me lore.
Me lore.
I'm tying the rope to me and I'm jumping down.
Yeah, so you jump down, and the hole, there is an echo, and it's very deep, very deep. It's about 3 stories down. The rope is long enough to get most of the way, but as long as
I don't hit the ground, actually,
as long as you don't hit the ground, there's there's the sloshing of liquid down below, like you hear drip dripping. There's a little like hanging bits of phosphorescent moss that aren't giving really enough light for typical sight to see. But bolstering this area on the top is are huge, heavy, ancient wood like columns and support struts. There's a wooden edifice structure holding up this like kind of vast underground area, there's these eaves are holding up a great underground structure upon which looks like not only the house of Freeze is supported, but at this point all of the houses, and in all directions is pitch dark, and below you the sound of running liquid.
So you're saying there's a tunnel network that goes underneath all 4 haunted houses that is held up by a structure. So like somebody built this because it's got wooden eaves. It's got wooden pieces that are holding. Okay, got it. And we're now so we did find the secret hole by cheating.
You found the secret hole. It's not cheating if you use the rules.
That's true.
You're allowed to go into a house through the roof.
Is that a proverb?
Arson shuts down. I don't think that's true.
Depends what you mean by allowed, I suppose.
Nobody's stopping us.
Yes. And as a normal police detective maneuver, using a lightning bolt to make a giant hole is very acceptable everywhere in the Sometimes Kingdom, correct? Everyone's heard this, right?
Crossing my arms really hard.
Not familiar to me.
Other jurisdictions deal with.
Okay, well, let's just pick a direction, shall we?
In this great dark underground area, there is a series of very rickety boardwalks supported by what look like the kind of pylons you would find with a dock. That they go to and fro, rickety staircases also made out of wood going to and fro, and it is very clear that the staircases make their way up into the various houses of haunt. A strange number of them seem to be going to the House of Breeze to the south, which you have previously seen. There's lots of scaffolding, which looks quite old and ancient, and some of it looks quite new. It's all a dizzying array, but the space itself, with these large eaves holding up this grounded space, look positively ancient and moldering.
Can we climb them?
You absolutely can climb them.
Oh, I want to climb them.
There's a treacherous sort of drop from the hole that you've blown into the side of this space. But once down past that sort of treacherous drop, everything is sort of climbable or navigable from there.
Excellent.
Is Bessemer just going to leap down into the dark to try and climb?
She might just leap, try to climb. Yeah, I think that's exactly what happens.
You're going to have to roll a move check for that.
I don't even care.
Yeah, for which you can also burn some grit if you have it. I would like to.
Some grit. Yeah. Because I'm rolling a d6. So, and I want to do this well. So I'm just going to go ahead and burn 6 grit. And let's see. Yeah, so that's a 10.
Yeah.
Because I got a 4.
Yeah. So yeah, do you leap with the rope, or do you just leap across by yourself? Do you have any sort of connector cable, or what you doing?
Oh, I just went by myself. I don't need the rope.
So yeah, you leap into the dark without a torch, just where the torch and his fire breath is sort of generally lighting up, and deftly with an iron grip cling onto this wet wood until you're white knuckled, but you support yourself and grab onto a rickety staircase held up with jute rope and moss and rot, and it's rotting bits of itself.
Excellent. I just like, as I like land, I like twist my fingers into bits of like old rotting wood to get past that into something that I can grab and like get myself all settled. Yeah. And start to like maneuver, and then from that vantage point look to see like how far in various directions and what I notice and etc.
Bessemer, should I just jump down onto your head? Can you catch me if I jump?
Yes, I can catch you.
But I thought I was already in the hole.
Yeah, Herset's down
Are
there,
you
right?
just hanging?
Herset's down there, yeah.
Yeah, I had the rope in the beginning, so I just got to the bottom. I tied myself away from the rope, and I
assume this is like Jean Reno lowering Tom Cruise into the like secret room in Mission Impossible 1.
Right. Yeah, in various. Yeah, that's what Hirsute did. Bessemer did more of the Lara.
I think I was being
sort of Lara Croft.
Lara Croft, yeah. 1000%.
Lara Croftian, yeah.
Could I just jump animated animal style into the hole and hope that someone either grabs
Somebody
me
catches
or
you?
I want to use a rope
out with my hand and catch you up.
You said there's Jungle Canyon rope bridges down there. That's good enough for me. Should I just roll movement?
Yeah,
roll movement. Burn some grit. I mean, I'm running out of grit, but I'm rolling D8 and I'm gonna burn 3. I got an 8 plus 3. That is an 11.
That'll do it. You definitely you not only leap into the dark, but your claws scrape very quickly on like wet wood and fine.
Why didn't you just climb the rope
down?
down?
Yeah,
scamper down. It's not as much fun.
Yeah. That way really is the answer.
Yeah, way more cool.
I'm gonna yell up, brother. Okay, please listen to me.
I hear you, brother.
Climb the rope. Please do not jump.
Are you sure I shouldn't just jump?
Yeah, I'm really sure.
All right, brother, I trust you.
Unless you also want to be a skeleton, which would be pretty rad.
I don't know if angels become skeletons.
I mean, I became a skeleton.
Were you an angel?
I don't remember. You tell me.
I don't remember either. You weren't an angel before you were... Well, I don't know.
I wasn't?
I actually don't know the answer to that question. For we were babies.
Right. So, hey, how about,
Yeah.
What is Fasole doing?
Fasole sort of grabs under the rope and sort of like fireman slides down it. He is wearing gloves, so he's not going to get
That's right.
burns.
Yeah.
Full plate armor.
Clank. How tall is Fasole? Is he man size or wee or
I think of average height.
Of average height. So yeah,
probably a little taller with the armor on.
Yeah.
Like with an American man or a Norwegian man. Like what are you talking about?
Oh, that's a good
Such
point.
a
Norwegian.
great
Good
question.
point.
An average whatever island this is, man.
Copian man.
Copian man. An average Copian man.
An average Copian man.
We're from the Winter Islands.
Yeah, if you're from Winter, people are.
We're from Interhart, remember?
Interhart. Yes. Okay. An average Interhart.
Ancient stock.
Interhartman.
Yeah. So
I'm sliding down the rope.
Average. Yeah, you're average height. You're 5'9". I'm tired of this. Yeah. So you slide down the rope and sort of manage to get onto like the wet ground itself and slide awkwardly.
I think I land ass first.
You land ass first right onto one of the boardwalks. Part of the boardwalk snaps and falls down into and underneath it is this sort of like disgusting looking like Icarus water that's sort of flowing underneath this whole edifice.
This is the worst porta potty I've ever been in.
You sure?
Well,
yeah.
So far at least.
Well, you hear a voice from high up like, everyone, I'm gonna go. The hall it's sort of she's like, well, you'll find out. The hall is repairing itself. I'm really sorry. I don't really know what to...
We'll find out what.
Use some lightning to keep the hole open while we are gone. This seems very intuitive to me.
Why don't we just use lightning to open it one more time when we need to get out again?
I might do that too, but if someone can just keep it open from a
just keep lightning
safety,
just throwing more,
yes.
yeah.
Just keep
lightning
doing dangerous.
Dangerous,
actually,
dangerous lightning for safety.
We see various paths going to the houses.
Yeah.
I'm going.
But here you have blow up the place that just healed itself.
How about we just try to find the way out, and then we find a way back in, and then blah blah blah.
What?
Okay, let's do this. Let's investigate, as Hasid says.
Yeah.
This is more rationale, I suppose.
Wait, are we closing at 9?
I think we are, right?
We're going to be wrapping up in a couple of minutes.
Okay, I'm going to start by looking around the area we just landed in and seeing if I can find any signs of barracks.
Okay, so you were looking around. You see in the sort of dark of the torch, these sort of wet, damp walls, these ancient eaves holding up this space, this rickety walkway. The walkways leading to the various houses, with many more of them going to the House of Breeze and Autumn. But as you're investigating around, your torch alights onto the ribcage and head of Barracks, who is sort of enmeshed in scaffolding with various pieces of wood going through their ribcage, like held by the rotting jute of one of the walkways.
Is he alive?
Don't know how to answer that.
Are you good?
Yeah. There's a I have been better.
But a bit alive. You're a bit alive.
Alive. He's alive. It's alive.
Yes.
It's
But there's jute. The jute is rotten. You're near the rotten jute. You should come away.
Also, it's only been a day. I mean, I don't know how you got this messed up.
Yeah, well, also, Barracks does not have their appendages. Is simply at this point a ribcage, spinal column, and
they're like impaled on
impaled somehow in this ancient rotting rope.
Okay.
Basically suspended almost by it.
Bessemer, can you fix that?
Let's see. I was just asking myself the very same thing.
Yeah.
Let's check. This is This is quite a bit. Okay, so
I have a drill. We could drill it.
I feel like a drill is the opposite of what we're looking for
Right.
at this moment.
You need a drill, but in reverse.
Right.
We could take the
Like
boardwalk
illegal.
apart.
Okay. So he's suspended. How far off of the surface of where we're standing?
He's about 12 feet away. He's like it's all the same sort of system of boardwalks and suspension rope bridges and various scaffoldings and whatnot, but about 12 feet away and like 1 story down. So at an angle that way towards the House of Breeze.
I'm a little worried that if we move him, he's just not gonna make it. So I kind of want to climb over there and see what I can do. Yeah. So you're
not making any crazy leap anymore. You can
I'm just because now I'm thinking about fucking bodies and shit. And I'm gonna go ahead and can I burn another well, I don't know how much grit should like burn another 6 grit maybe, and just to see what I can like 60,000 grit to fix them. I don't know.
I don't want to get too metagaming, but we have like 3 more sessions.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I'm almost out of grit already.
Just burn all your grit. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
You've got
okay, I'm just gonna burn. I'll burn. I've got 16, so I'm gonna burn like
3.
3. 3's
Three?
good.
Yeah, 3. Yeah,
okay.
15.
Thanks. I'm not as familiar with the grit system. I appreciate it. So I'll burn 3 to try to see what we can do for that.
For sure.
And as I approach, like I get down, so I crawl down through these eaves to like where he is, and what a sight to behold, the torso with all of that happening. And so I'm assuming I'm gonna bust out hilariously one of my gauze packets with iodine and herbs.
Yeah. You're gonna patch up the parts of his marrow that are kind of gross and dripping, and you're gonna staunch the
flow. We're going to. I'm sure there's going to be some magical reassembling and restitching.
Some point
fusing. There may even be some cracking and some little bit of orthopedic stuff.
Just if he dies, he just comes back again.
It's true, but he may or may not have any evidence,
information.
Yeah. You will definitely lose the information that he is as the particular incarnation of this person. So you patch him up with unguents and with herbs. You pull him out of this rotting jute, which wraps away, or I guess rots away pretty quickly. He doesn't have his limbs, but he is now is moving his neck around. He cracks his jaw back into place, and he's like, "Oh my god, this is so fantastic! That's so much better. This is great. I have had better working relationships than with this place of employment, and I thank you for your timely rescue of me. And we should get the hell out of here as quickly as humanly possible."
Great. How the fuck did you end up here?
He says, I was eaten by an edifice.
By an Oedipus? Elephant?
Yes, by an edifice. An edifice. It was. I was
An edifice of what?
I was making the house. The house ate me. I've been eaten by the house. The pox upon your houses. I've been eaten by the house.
Oh. Medicine.
Oh, this case closed. If we end on that, that'd be good.
Next time on the Subtitle Kingdom.
So the house did it. We figured it out.
Yeah. So should we pause here and pick up in the dark?
Yeah, the house is evil.
Yeah.
The house.
That's great. Ethan, does that feel like a good cliffhanger?
That feels like a good stopping point. Always with a couplet or two. Yeah, for sure. He was about to probably launch into a soliloquy, so it's just as well that we're leaving the scene. When we return, it will hopefully be wrapped up.
Can be our
3
cold
minutes later.
open next time.
Yeah, it gives you a chance to write the short soliloquy that reveals all the information we just learned.
You
It's
can
true.
prepare a little Malvolio, yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. I was worried I wouldn't have to go into Jacobean literature to solve this.
Well, you see, Eric's likes to wrap all of his information.
Oh my god.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning into the Sometimes Kingdom stream. Maybe call it the Sometimes stream. I don't know, Ethan. I haven't picked a name, but yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks for part 2 of 4 of The House of Eaves by Ethan Gouldini.
Thank you all so much, and special thanks to all of our players. Check us at this. You can check us out at stillfleet.com. Twitch, is it /Stillfleet?
Yeah. Twitch.tv/Stillfleet.
Twitch.tv/Stillfleet.
Excellent. Perfect.
social media.
No notes. And social media. I'm Ethan Gouldini. You can find me at Spectral House, wherever fine social medias are sold. Thanks very much. Have a spooky evening.
Okay. See everybody in 2 weeks. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Don't look for me.